What's up, guys? This is Thigh Company here. Welcome to today's live stream, guys. Today is March the 17th, 2024. Hope you all doing well today. And for today's live stream, we are going to be talking about the Sped on story, which is a story we finally got to, which is something we've been waiting for a while here. And we've been mentioning Sped on for a few times in a few of the different previous live streams. And for today's live stream, we're going to be talking about kind of like almost like a timeline of all the different things that's been going on recently with the Sped on, and kind of like growing up with Sped on as well. So I'm going to also see if I can get my dad, a Sped dad, to join in on the conversation here, possibly, and help out. Talk about a few of the different stories here. So hopefully this can work out pretty well. So I'm going to try to call him here. He may answer, he may not answer. I'm not sure. If he doesn't answer, then I'm going to just go off what I have here in my notes here. So yeah, and also big shout out. We finally have over 1,800 subscribers, guys. An amazing job. I'm very glad that we've achieved that goal here. So maybe at this rate we could get even to 1,900 subscribers, which would be amazing. So let's see. I'm calling Sped. Hello? Hello? All right, I'm going to try to call him one more time here. Let's see. Sometimes it takes him like one or two times to try to call him. But yeah, we're over 1,800 subscribers. I think the current number is about 1,805. So we're on a good rate right now. Pretty cool. And live streams, I think, have gone up in views a little bit as well with some of the recent live streams. Like I know yesterday's is over 10 views right now, so that's good. Hello?
Hey, Sasha.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Hey, I had a few questions I wanted to ask you. You may remember some of this, so just kind of to jog your memory right quick. I was going to ask, some of this involves talking about Aunt Karen right quick.
Hold 1 second there. Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, so a few questions here about Aunt Karen here. So first question here is, so I heard that Grandma had babied Aunt Karen a lot growing up. Is that true?
Well, yes, she was specialized.
Specialized? How specialized was she?
Well, she's the youngest and was catered on.
Well, how so? How was she catered?
Well, she got her way to a large extent.
Well, what would be some examples?
I don't know. She went to summer school with degree of things that would hold on. I'm getting stuck with two things. And it was just not too bad, but she was specialized because she's been the only girl.
Well, who babied her more, Grandma or PJ?
Oh, Grandma was tougher on her, but she made her to behave a certain way. Well.
So when you say she was made to behave a certain way, how was that?
Well, excuse me. Well, the two of them are pretty much very similar. So,
Well, I know they were both very similar, but she was babied in a few different ways. For example, I know she was in like a pageant or something.
Well, she was in the. Let's see, who was that? I guess it was the. It was, the fashion pageant.
Right. She was also put in. She was forced into the Easter parade.
Yeah, I suppose.
Well, we have not. This is not supposed, but it was for sure thing because you have it on video.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a recording somewhere that you showed me back, and I have a copy of it somewhere. That of
Yeah.
a recording where she was forced onto like an Easter parade, and she was sort of like put onto a like a float of
A
some
phone.
sort. Yeah, a
Sure.
float, and she was kind of like paraded down the street, and she was like put on display.
Well, this was something. Boy, my throat is clamming up. Yeah, but it's not that unusual. Several people, girls, would be, uh, involved. So they'd be on floats.
Well, wasn't she trying to do what's called grandma? Wasn't she trying to do something called showing face, where she was showing off the family to increase her own positive image or positive reputation?
for 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 Karen.
Well, yeah, she was showing off Karen to
Yeah.
get a good positive reputation for the neighbors, so she can show off herself. Because
Well, yeah, but it wasn't that unusual.
well, that's what she was trying to do because she had one neighbor who you said was like a former president of Chase Manhattan Bank.
Well, they were playing golf and stuff. So
Well, PJ
yeah,
was playing golf with the guy, right?
I don't remember that part, but it probably
Well, you
was.
said they were playing golf. You're referring to PJ though, because Grandma
At
didn't
that
play no
moment,
golf. What did she?
she played golf a lot
Oh, she
when
did.
at the beginning, and then when she had some uh, injuries, and then she had
Injury.
stopped.
What kind of injuries did she have?
Just had trouble walking the golf.
Well, there's
So she was.
walking, but now, see, I don't recall her having injuries until later in life because her trouble walking is not really from the injury; it's from her the fast food and the diabetes.
Oh, that could be it.
Well, I'm pretty sure she
But
didn't have an injury.
it was well. It wasn't a severe thing, but she had different interests over time. So
Well, yeah, she changed her interest, but she was doing golf because was part of what's called the increasing the reputation, or what's there's a term for it. It's not what is it called? Not showing face. Is a different name for it. But anyway, she was trying to increase her reputation among that neighborhood community where they lived in New York.
okay,
And they put Karen on the parade in the 1950s, and Grandma was sort of babying her or dressing her up in like a doll, and
yeah,
she
but
did.
let me. It was not unusual to put the young girls in floats.
Okay. Well, the next one I was going to say. So, what's the story about the gnome scandal? Like, from what I heard, this would be Grandma or great grandma Constance. So, grandma's mother was
Yeah,
sick. What was she sick with? Influenza?
she was dying of cancer.
Of cancer? What kind of cancer?
I don't know, but it was serious.
Right, and Grandma thought it was contagious. She did.
And well, it could be, or that she had. But I'm in the middle of eating,
Well,
and I've got too many people around me to be talking this. So call me a little later tonight.
all right. Well, all right. I'll talk to you later then.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Okay. All right. So he can't talk right now because he's all dilly daddling somewhere. So yeah, to continue down the Sped on story. The next one is the gnome scandal. So great grandma Constance, so grandma Sped grandma or Grandma Corva's mom, was Constance something or other, Constance, and apparently she had cancer. And during her like last final days of her like I guess getting worse and dying and all that, um, Grandma Curva decided to lock her up in a house and put a lock on the door, and she put she was like trying to stop everybody from entering the house. So what she would do is she put gnomes, like she bought gnomes from the store and put them all across the front of this house that they lived at. And she was on purpose scaring Sped Ant. I'm gonna say aunt and aunt, whatever you want to say, Sped Ant, from entering the house because she was afraid of the gnomes. And somewhere there's a audio clip. I gotta look for that audio clip to play on, um, put it on YouTube here. Um, when my dad was recording Grandma Curva on about the gnomes, and on purpose, yeah, she put these gnomes to scare Sped Ant away from the house where great grandma Constance was, because Grandma Curva came up with this crazy conspiracy theory that cancer was contagious. Um, so that's like this big crazy thing, and I don't know why, but they had these very crazy, stupid superstitions. Um, but yeah, that was kind of the other weird thing here that once I get in touch with Sped Dad, he'll tell me more about that. Um, so the next part is the growing up. So Sped Ant was always fat. She always was overeating because she had this she had a very poor diet. Um, she had obsession with fast food, eating junk food, but it kind of goes on to a little bit worse later on because she had this weird thing called a French obsession, because during that time in the US there was this very high, almost like a propaganda, because this is like 60s, 70s, 80s, with changes in fashion, and everything was from France because France was putting out the la mode, the new French fashion or mode of fashion or whatever you want to call it. And so Spedant became totally obsessed or over obsessed with French, like French culture and all that, because she said, "Oh, the French live better than us." That was her crazy brainwashing there. But she was because Spedant was always fat. Grandma Corva had forced her into a marriage, and it was a forced marriage, and she paid a lot of money for that marriage to happen. Um, but then there was this obsession with fast food. They would eat junk food all the time, never cook at home. Sped Aunt would always be eating popcorn in bed. That was a very famous thing she would always be doing, is cooking up popcorn in a microwave and then running, jumping into bed and eating popcorn, watching TV there, which is from what the Russian side of the family has been saying. Never cook any food at home, and then somehow she got a job with AT&T. Was living in New Jersey at the time, and then because she got the job with AT&T, Grandpa PJ bought a house in Atlanta, Georgia. Bought it in cash, so there wouldn't be no mortgage, because Grandpa PJ believed in not getting no mortgage and paying in cash in full for a house. And so that was probably kind of the biggest investment I could think of that PJ did for the Sped Ant. Uh, but yeah, then Sped Ant eventually became morbidly obese, had morbid obesity and other unknown various health conditions that she always would hide from the public. So she never wanted anyone to know how sped she was. And then she had crazy kids. Uh, so let's see. I told you about the forced marriage that Grandma Cordova forced this her husband to marry Spedant. Yeah, Spedant to marry. Pay money for that. Uh, and then they had three crazy kids. First crazy kid, and I won't name the kids. First crazy kid was sort of very had a very good relationship with his dad. The dad that Grandma Curva paid money to marry Spedant. Um, But the kid was pretty crazy. He shaved his head a lot, got in trouble in school, got up getting like piercings and all that, and then once got into the high school years, became an alcoholic, got speeding tickets, crashed cars. Pretty crazy kid. But then eventually, once he got into adulthood, got his life on the good track and got a job in movie design and set props and all that. So he's making good money. I think he's making the most money out of all the kids. Second kid turned gay. Uh, Grandma Curva was very pissed off about that. Was very mad. And that gay kid found gay lover. Then they tried to do a gay marriage. Grandma got mad, scandal, and then she ended up uh, to go rewriting her will because that kid um, became gay. So Grandma Curva decided to do that. You know, I'm gonna go rewrite my will. He ain't getting none of my money. That was like the big scandal at the time. And then the third kid was a girl. Sped was very kind of obsessed over. She had this goal to make this girl, and she gave the girl a French name, and was solely her sole goal was to get this girl to learn French, and so that they can move to France. But the girl was sort of abused over that education to the point where she started cussing out Grandma Curva. And then later she had no job. She couldn't get any good job and started getting like mad. Apparently, there was a rumor that she hit Grandma Curva. So we don't know what the true story behind that is, but that was a pretty bad scandal. And then Sped started getting into this Disney obsession, like everything Disney, buy Disney clothes, get all the VH. She had a huge VHS Disney collection of every single freaking movie, every film, every this and that from Disney. Hundreds of thousands of dollars spent on Disney movies. All the classic Disney movies, the pre-animation stuff like Davy Crockett, Treasure Island, all those crazy stuffs. And then every single Disney animated movie, animated film. She had this obsession of going to Disney World all the time. She would try to go to Disney World like 2 to 3 times a year. And I don't know why on earth she was doing that, but that was her thing. Uh, but because of her morbid obesity, she could not get on a plane, and she, didn't feel comfortable buying two tickets at once, to get. She would have to be the person who would have to take up a whole aisle of seats. Um, that's why she would always drive to like Disney World and all that. Then she started getting these weird things for her house. Like she got a weird special TV system where like there was like 5 TVs in a house, but only 3 TVs, like only 3 different TVs could be up and running, so only 3 people could watch TV at a time. And if a fourth person or an extra person would hop on, it would cut off the TV of somebody else's. And not only that, they would also be blocking like certain channels, like block adult channels. It would be blocking anything with like any mature content or severe like graphic content. Um, so that was like another weird thing, and my dad would be always complaining about that. But then she would also be doing really sped things like not celebrating anyone's birthday, but then like celebrate holidays. Like Christmas was like the biggest thing, and Thanksgiving. When it was Thanksgiving, she'll be inviting every single person out there possible, and she'll be spending like 2 weeks making food. Um, but not so she'll refuse to celebrate anyone's birthday. No celebration of birthday gifts. But then Christmas comes along, she'll be spending maybe $1,000 setting up on Christmas stuff, getting a tree, putting up Christmas decorations. But like when Christmas comes, she would not spend any money on presents. If she had something on presents, it would be like the most nastiest old Goodwill clothes that she would give to somebody. Not no iPhone, no electronics, no toys for kids, nothing of that sort. Then she started getting this obsession with uh, moving to France. She wanted to like go to France, and she wanted to like drop her life in the U.S. and move to France. And she had this crazy theory that she would be going on Like this is how her final days of her life would go. She'd be like, I'm gonna finally get to Paris, France, and I'm gonna go on an all-you-can-eat Paris, France French food buffet, and I'm gonna pass away from overeating in France and be buried in France. That was like her crazy theory, and that was like a crazy thing that was going on too. Another scandal, right? Um, which eventually that cut off, and then she started getting into this dog obsession. She started buying a dog, would get rid of a dog after a few years, buy another dog, and then last time, like we saw her many, like 10 years ago, she was buying dogs and then freaking putting on diapers on the dogs. Like she'd only buy female, very specific female dogs, put diapers on the dogs because the dogs would always go in heat. That was her thing. The dogs are in heat. Their blood is going everywhere. Dogs are in heat. You need to put diapers. We're putting diaper pads on the floors in the kitchen. That was her crazy like obsession. Um, then the next crazy scandal was that with Grandma Curva would always be living there at the house. So eventually, Grandma Curva moved in, and Sped uh, designated a bedroom on the first floor for her. She had called up a renovation crew, and they built in a bathroom for the house, so Grandma Curva could just walk over from the bedroom straight into the bathroom slash shower. They had like a special bathroom in there, and Grandma Curva would live in there. Uh, and then weird things started happening, like right when Grandma Curva moved into that first floor bedroom. And the first floor bedroom was in the weirdest place possible. It was right when you enter the front door, immediately to the right, there would be that bedroom. And to the left, it was this big grand piano that Grandma Curva and PJ bought for the house. It was because PJ liked playing on the piano and nobody else.